heute am Nürburgring, allerdings weder für die Formel 1 noch für die DTM, sondern für die ADAC SimRacing Expo. Bei dieser Expo geht alles ums virtuelle Fahren bzw. um den Fahrsimulator und alles darum herum. Aber was das genau ist, das schauen wir uns jetzt an. Wir sind jetzt im Inneren der Halle angekommen und hier können die Besucher neben Rennsimulationen auch Hardware testen. Wir haben beispielsweise rechts hier im Hintergrund sehen wir schon eine Formel 1 Simulation, die können wir uns auch gleich nochmal genauer anschauen. Zu meiner Linken haben wir auch ein bisschen Hardware, die Leute austesten können, beispielsweise von BenQ, ein paar Monitore. Und wir haben mit einem der Hersteller gesprochen und das Interview seht ihr gleich nach ein paar weiteren Impressionen aus der Halle. Ich habe jetzt Maurizio, den Marketingchef von Wave Italy bei mir und wir möchten ein bisschen über die Booth sprechen, die wir hier sehen. So Maurizio, what can we experience here?
Hi everybody. So first of all, it's really great to be here at the ADAC SimRacing Expo because it's the best show for this world. It's the third year we're here and we're very happy to be. Okay, so Wave has several kinds of business area. But let's make it simple. We have something for sim racer and something for expert sim racers and something for the general public to have a Formula One experience or a driving experience anyhow. So let's start with the sim racers, okay? So, you want to show here?
Of course, just like you want to.
Okay, so for example, what Wave proposes is first of all something a little bit premium, we can call it. The sim racing world starts, of course, from the evolution of the video games. In the video games, you could only race against the computer or against your friend at home, drinking a Coca-Cola and so on. But with the age of internet, people started to race all together in different places of the world. What we meant to do to enter the sim racing market and world was let's start from the real reality and bring it to the simulation world. So our claim in a way is from real racing cars to your simulators. So an example, if you look here at this our pedal set, you can see that this is all metal, this is really robust material and a robust object, no? And it's a kind of pedal set that you can really think that was taken off a Lamborghini, a Ferrari or a Porsche. So it's a very performing one. On the braking pedals, for example, you can press up to 100 kilos, so like in a real racing cars. And of course, this is run by a very sophisticated electronic who can give you a completely real feedback. This year our electronic is completely new, so not to be too technical, but last year we were working with a range of 3,000 say electronic information. This year we're working with 60,000 electronic information, so 20 times as much. This means that all the reaction that you have both on the throttle and on the pedals and on the brake are really very close to what really happens on the track, even because our engineers comes from the real competitions, and so they're bringing all the sensation and they can reproduce with electronic what really happens on the track.
And this real feeling of racing visitors can experience on this simulator, right?
Exactly. Here the public can test, our steering wheel and the pedal set on this rig, and they can have fun, and they really have the possibility to test the benefit of driving with such a pedal set. Of course, they are very good competitors, which we totally respect. What we are sure is that the performance permitted by this pedal set really allows you to go faster, because the more precise you are, the more feeling you have on the brake. Of course, the best is the performance. So our suggestion is at least test this, and if you want to go faster, buy one.
All right, it's not the normal driving simulator. I'm wondering how difficult is it to comparing it to normal driving. So if people are playing, for example, DTM Race Driver or Formula One, they are playing with the gamepad. How much difficult is it to play with the simulator?
It's always a personal condition, you know. So there are really young guys. You put it on the simulator. Maybe they didn't ever drove a car on the street, but they put it on the simulator and they go like hell. And this is just talent, you know. But this is very important, because the world of simulation, or driving simulation, is very important also for the car manufacturers. Really, because if one guy is fast on the simulator, it's for sure now that he can be fast also on the real track. For brands like Mercedes, Porsche, or whatever, this is a really no-cost way to find talent, young talent, because then you just need to put them in the gym and make some physical preparation for the neck and so on. But if you're talented on the track in the simulation, the same concept you can apply on the track and be fast there.
I think the teams already also use these techniques for the young drivers to learn about the racing tracks you can experience, so that they know where is my point in a curve, for example, yeah. Where I put my throttle full. How is it?
It's fun. It's a lot of fun, because you can imagine, I mean, the big advantage is that here, if you do a mistake, it's first of all no expensive, and you don't need any bend. You know, you don't crash yourself. You know, so you can really test the limit, and of course the limit depends on how good you are. And again, there are some guys who, like in any sport, they can do it step by step and be better and so on. Or the one who is good since the beginning. What is great is that everybody has a lot of fun, and when they start, they would never stop.
And if we take a look at the background, we already saw that you rebuilt a Formula One cockpit. I think we are going to this side and talk a little bit about it.
Okay, so this is our Phoenix simulator, as we call it. And this simulator, we use it for to give the public a real Formula One experience that you can find in digital arena, where we sell or we rent the simulators, or in car museums like I don't know, the Auto Museum in Turin, or we are also talking with the museum at Mercedes in Stuttgart and so on. There are some parks like the Tarragona Park, the Ferrari Land. There are 8 of these simulators and so on. So this is open to the public to really have a feeling of the Formula One experience, both for the driving but also for the sensation, because the position is really the position a Formula One driver has. So almost, you know, lying in the bed in a very uncomfortable position, but that is it, you know. So here in the show, we are running a championship. We call it Wave Championship, of course, and the people can have 2 minutes of briefing with our technical, and then they have more or less 10 minutes of free laps, and a tentative of the pole position lap. We are running on Spa, just because the Nürburgring is fantastic, but the real Nürburgring is just a few meters far from here. On this weekend, the Formula One is in Spa, so let's give it both the real in Spa and the simulation here at the show. On Sunday morning, we will take the best 8 laps. People doing the best laps, and on the 2 simulator, because here we have 2 simulators, we will put them on 2 simulator contemporary, and it's going to be a race one against the other, and we go on like in tennis and in football, so the one who wins go to the next step and to the next step. Then we have a final winner winning our wave impetus pedal set.
All right, so it's getting more realistic, fighting another opponent. This area, we talked a little bit earlier, was free, but if you want to compete here, you need to pay.
Yeah, this is a little bit, because it's a little ticket, it's 15 euros, but we have to do it because, of course, otherwise thousands of people would like to try this because it's really an attraction. And if it be too crowded, we cannot have all the people happy. So we have to think of something good, to have a little ticket, but to win something of the value of 1,500 euros, because the pedal set is a premium one, so the winner will be happy at least.
This is a rebuild from a real Formula One car. How expensive is it if I want to buy it to have it in my own house?
Yeah, exactly. I tell you the cost. What is important is that really this can really replicate the feeling you have on a Formula One. The main feelings, because there are some sensation which physically you cannot reproduce. For example, in a Formula One now, when you apply the brakes, the deceleration goes up to 5G. 5G negative, no?
That's more.
Of course. Imagine, we cannot reproduce this just because if we put the simulator just vertical, that would be only 1G negative, you know? So that kind of really physical sensation top cannot be reproduced in any way. But here you have all the movement of the car. When you go on the bend, you know, you really feel whether if the car is going in the right direction, or you have oversteering or understeering, and so on. There is also a system with a belt, which make you pressure when you accelerate or when you apply the brakes, and the seats also has some moving, and this all together reproduces the most important feeling on a Formula One. The other most important thing is that our engineer really makes the good calibration to have the electronics reproducing exactly what happens on the track. If you do the right things or if you do the wrong things too.
Always happens on your actions. Final question. You said that the people compete here in the championship. What can they win? You said they can win the pedal set, right?
Yeah, the first prize we win the pedal set. The second prize we win a special SimRacing headphones by our sponsor Asus. It's more a partner. All the electronic you see here, PC and so on, is by Asus. And the third one, we will a dashboard to have some telemetry data in case you don't have a steering wheel on your SimRacing rack, like the one we have with the display. If you don't have it, you can add a dashboard watching the gear you're in, the time lap, or some other data that you can set on the dashboard.
Wir sind jetzt beim zweiten Boliden angekommen und wir schauen jetzt noch mal ein bisschen uns die Datenanalyse an. So show us, what can we see here?
Okay, we can see here, say, a reproduction of the last evolution of wave activities. This is a telemetry. This is fixed, but we can have telemetry in real time. Because what we did a very technological evolution of the simulator that is here on the show, and we call it Wave Apex. And in our headquarters in Verona, by the way, the technical headquarters is in Maranello, the land of motorsport, and the commercial and managerial is in Verona, in Italy. In Verona, we opened a new center, which is called Professional Training Center. There we have 2 top evoluted simulators, like the one we saw before, but even more sophisticated. And real professional pilots come in this center to train with the help of our driving coach, who in real time can watch up to 60 channels of telemetry, and via headphones can talk in real time with the pilot, explaining what to do better, how to improve his technique, what to try to go to the limit, and so on. So these are very important activity for all the pilots. The situation is that until last year, let's say, professional simulator from car manufacturer were the only one who are very, very expensive, used only by the Formula One pilots, drivers, you know. This means that good guys or talented from the kart category to Formula 2, Formula 3 and so on had really no places where to go to test on simulation, which is so important also because of the cost, which is much less than going on the track. Also the rules, there are in many categories, you cannot test on the track whenever you want. You can only have some test session and that is it. Now, if you want to do more, either you simulate or you can't do anything. The other point is weather condition. So to train in winter is hard to go on a track unless you spend a lot of money, you go to Australia or so. No? So this possibility of the professional training center in Verona with 2 parallel simulators, it was real pilots are really appreciating because they can train at best with the help of a professionist and do their best before going to the track. What is really interesting is that again the drivers who trains on the simulation and they go faster. When they go on the track, they're really faster on the track too.
You mentioned the weather condition. Is it possible with this simulator also to simulate this kind of weather conditions and the behavior of the car?
Exactly. Weather condition, let's say, are 2 categories. One is heat and humidity, which normally do. Because when a pilot comes to train in our center in Verona, he can ask, for example, can we reproduce the situation we have in Nürburgring last 30 August? So we can set the same temperature, same humidity, so the same tire degrader, and so on. We can really do it. What is the new part is that we can now simulate also rain. This is very, very difficult because nature is not the same. Every meter, nature changes now. So when you are in Silverstone, for example, some part of the track are wet to a certain level. Some other parts are really wet. But this is random, you know.
This is just really like in real life.
Exactly. So we are already using raining condition on the simulation with a certain level of approximation, you know. But still it's good because if you want to test a hard brake on the rain, this is something that you can already do.
You mentioned the cost. How much do you need to pay for this one and for the other one?
Sorry, the experience simulator has a cost around 60,000 euros.
This was the one we saw.
Exactly, it's the same. The professional one costs much more, but for the moment we don't sell it because we won't keep our center for ourselves.
That's no problem. All right, Thanks for your time and have a nice day.
Thanks to you, everybody. Ciao from Italy and ciao from Germany.
Neben Hardware-Tests und Simulationsspielspaß hat die ADAC SimRacing Expo aber auch E-Sports im Programm. Und mit diesen Bildern möchten wir uns bei euch verabschieden. Wir hatten auf jeden Fall viel Spaß und ihr genießt jetzt noch ein paar Bilder vom E-Sports.